Hello everyone! Welcome back to the Rational Investors Top 100 Crypto Review! TRI's Crypto Countdown! Top 100 Crypto Review!
Oh, look at that.
TRI's
Kicked in
Crypto
right
Countdown! Alright, looks like we're up and running, so that's kind of cool. Welcome back to the Frivolity. I've got my cohorts with me tonight. We've got Paul, the killer Bitcoin trader. Paul, you here tonight?
Good morning, at least for me.
It's all right. I always say that. Sorry, same mistake. I look out my window and it's dark now, so I say good night. Good evening. But yeah, you're on the other side of the world. It's the start of a new day for you.
Yep.
So I suppose you're sitting there counting all your money. Paul's going to own us all by the end of this. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll hear from Paul through his report about the wonderful trading that he's doing. And if I'm not mistaken, we also have Ben on the call here tonight. Ben, are you here?
Good evening.
That's a Florida hello.
Yeah.
All right. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Ben's wearing clothes tonight. But,
Debatable.
He came on in a beige shirt or something like that, and I could have sworn he was naked. Or maybe that was just wishful thinking on my part. I don't know. Anyway, good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Beamish, a.k.a. The Rational Investor. Welcome back to our funny little show that we do here Wednesdays. Talk a little crypto, talk a little markets, hopefully give you an overview of what the heck's going on. And if anything, I really like the co-hosts that I have here working with us right now. I think we have a very well-rounded offering here. So, no time like the present. Might as well hop right into this. See, there's a few people over there on YouTube. So, actually, where should we put that? Maybe we'll put you over here now. The Joshua McGowan, actually, our level 1... Although I don't know whether he knows what he is. Is he the level 1 TA or the level 2 TA/instructor? Or maybe both. Anyway, great to see Joshua over there. Joshua's been on the site for quite a while. It's a real pleasure working with him. So anyway, hello, sir. Nice to see you over there on the YouTube audience. We got Adam C., Captain Oliveira da Hospital. If you ever want to book a mansion in Oliveira da Hospital, Portugal, Adam C. is the man to talk to. And we have a couple others. Steven. Hello, Steven. Nice to see you this evening. Interesting moniker. Is that sort of a play on the American flag you have there? And Masood Jafari. Is that my buddy who we went and had dinner at the Keg the other night? I think that's my buddy. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. So actually, I had a nice chat with Josh, TRI's marketing wizard, and I would really love to have you, Masood, and Josh hook up, just review sort of plans heading into this crazy November cyber and what is it? What do they call the November sales thing? Sorry, I'm just scratching my foot. I went off camera there, so. Anyway, cyber things. I'd love to get you and Josh talking. Of course, I have to say I'm pretty darn impressed with the TRI website. The tools that we have been building recently, I think, are definitely value added. I think they help us see the market clearly. I'm a little concerned that, we've had a bit of uppy in the market here, and unfortunately, I think it's more of dead cat bouncy type action versus actually outright trending signals. So I'm a little concerned. Having said that, we had a beautiful turn in the Dow Industrials. It was actually a really, really good sort of working example for our student body. What do bullish turns in the stock market look like? Very, very, absolutely textbook. I have a couple of earnings reports coming out in Techland, and it was interesting to see that some of the tech stocks not doing so well in reporting. Google got smashed pretty hard. Microsoft got smashed. I don't know whether Amazon has reported yet. They might be reporting tomorrow. I did hear, and also Apple, I think they're reporting tomorrow. So actually, maybe we even move this. I don't know how I do that. Maybe move this guy over here and this guy over here. So Google and Microsoft reported. I also heard today that Facebook also reported, and Mr. Zuckerberg. Should I show the people on YouTube the video that I was showing in the Daily Brief today? I don't know whether either of you guys read the Daily Brief, but man, I got such a laugh out of it. It just made me laugh so hard. I kept playing it over and over and over. Do either of you guys, did you see that?
I didn't have the chance.
No, doesn't that ring a bell? Here is Meta, and I don't see, mind you, I don't see the after hours trading quotes here either, so I'm not quite sure if that's reporting. I heard that Meta actually got kind of beat up, but and just understand, this is Brian's sense of humor, right? There's nothing to do with TRI, and it's just us having fun. Ben saw it. But for whatever it's worth, do not let your mom into Zuckerberg's Metaverse. Why?
Oh, I know that one. Don't show it. No.
So, if the kids are watching, put the kids away.
No, don't put that one.
Ma ¿qué será lo que tanto está?
Mama!
Uy, mano, uy, escucha.
Mama, what are you doing, Mama?
Uy, gas.
Ay, no.
Mi mamá, ¿qué será lo que tanto
keeping
está?
it.
Uy, mano, uy,
No,
escucha.
don't let your mom loose in the Metaverse. Well, that's good, Masad, because he said that he sent you a couple messages. So, if anything, that's good. All right, so I don't know what happened to Facebook overnight. I heard that it was getting hit pretty hard, that they missed their number, but I'm not quite sure if I'm showing this. I might not be showing all the after hours trading and stuff like that. So regular trading, let's see what we got. Extended hours, let's see where. Oh boy, look at that. So Meta is getting absolutely smoked in after hours. I get the impression that, and I don't know, can I do this? Set this on all of the charts? There we go. So let's see, does that work? No, it didn't. Oh well. Okay, so the big question was, what was Apple gonna do? I think Apple reports tomorrow. I don't know. I don't think that they're. What am I doing here? I'm gonna go regular all sessions. Yeah, it's actually up a little bit in after hours, but Meta stock. Meta platforms, Facebook, whatever the hell you want to call it, they're getting absolutely smoked in after hours. But I get the impression that generally speaking, there's a bit of a bid in the market after the close here today. Why do I say that? If we look at the stock futures, it looks like they're all relatively uptick. The Meta influence doesn't look too dramatic. And also too, I think probably a pretty big development here today is we actually had this double top pattern confirm on the US dollar index, which in itself might be a little bit of a harbinger that the risk on proxies coming back into the market. Usually when the US dollar index itself is racing higher, it means that the world is getting the heck out of risk and piling into sort of safe, secure U.S. treasuries. And usually it's like the U.S. 2-year T-note that people run into, just that 2-year bond. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, bond market's relatively happy here. So that's good to see. This has been the culprit all along, is interest rates cranking higher. But we did, in today's Daily Brief, we did look at the interest rate market, and I don't know. I don't think that there's enough anecdotal evidence to really conclude that the inflation push has stopped. But at the same time, too, I think the market itself and risk assets trading more off of, I think, to be honest with you, political situation more than anything else. And actually, Josh, our marketing guru, he's been updating the blog along here. And yellow line, this is our current market. The blue dotted line, this has been sort of our expectation, I guess, here to here to here, of what the market ought to do through this this year, because this is, and I just got to make sure I have the, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm screen sharing that screen, so you guys don't actually see my picture. Sometimes I have the picture right over this, and I have to move it, but that's okay. So second year new Democrat president, of course that's Sleepy Joe, and this is basically what we've been thinking. I have to say that this forecast was very, very helpful in us sort of framing expectations as we were going through this process. And you can see the election is basically, and this is a weird one because the election is Tuesday the 8th. I think it's usually the first Tuesday. Maybe it's the second Tuesday of November. I'm almost positive the election's on the 8th. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the interesting thing is that we have a U.S. Federal Reserve meeting coming up on the 2nd here. And I'm wondering whether maybe the Fed doesn't go nearly as hard because they don't want to be perceived as influencing the election. I guess one of the reasons why I think that is, the Rothschilds, they're basically running this whole financial system now. I find it hilarious when people say, well, the U.S. isn't running the show because, look, inflation is all over the world. But they don't bother telling you that the Americans, of course, took over the Japanese central banking system after the end of the Second World War, and de facto set up the South Koreans and every other sort of, allied nation in Southeast Asia is working off of the U.S. hegemony system. Australia, as a puppet of Great Britain, of course, the Rothschilds took over the British central banking system at the end of the Napoleonic Wars. And that by default means that they control Canadian central bank. And of course, we all know Woodrow Wilson signed away the only sort of free operating country in the world. Actually, there were two of them, ironically enough. Tsar Nicholas over there in Russia, he hated the central banks with a passion. And one might argue that half of the reason why there was the Soviet sort of revolution, the communist revolution over there, was that it was all completely funded by the banksters to try and remove Mr. Romanov from power, or at least maybe persuade him that central banks are a good thing. So, do find it interesting that, people now are saying, well, this inflation phenomena is global, so there's no way you can just pin it on, like, the U.S. hegemony. That's a load of fucking horse shit. Basically, the Rothschilds own the entire global financial system, and they would like to reflate the entire globe so that they continue their money lending plan. And of course, we all know World Economic Forum, Carney, of course, is one of their pets. And he actually said in one of these World Economic Forum things that their plan is to lend out $100 trillion to fight global warming. Like, come on, what a crock of shit. So, that's what's going on here in the world, folks. Just fully understand that. So, yes, the U.S. Federal Reserve is raising interest rates. But what I did find interesting today specifically was the Canadians, of course, the Canadian Central Bank, again, controlled by the Rothschilds. A lot of times, actually, they like to use the Canadian Central Bank as kind of like a telegraphing message. Like I said, Carney is so far up the Rothschilds' butts. He is technically Caucasian, but you would swear that he was a brown skin. That's a terrible statement. Anyway, I'm just being silly. And what I wanted to show you was news and econs. It was a little bit of a surprise. The Canadians were expected to raise interest rates to 4%, but they only went to 3 3/4. So I wonder if that's a little bit of a tell. And I get the impression that the risk market was kind of like it liked that news, and I think it was kind of anticipating that the Fed was maybe, and these banksters, they're all working in collusion, that they're maybe being just they're backing off a little bit. But the issue here is we are fully into the rate cycle increase, and the easy way I think for you to understand this in the public, if you can do this, it might be very difficult for you to put this together. But in essence, the euro-dollar market is sort of the corporate interest rate market. And, a lot of people sort of think that the Fed has the discretion to set interest rates, and they just simply don't. And this is where I think a lot of people in the public really fail, is that they don't understand. And you can see clearly here, the corporate interest rate market, that's the orange line. That's our euro-dollar contract. It is the market proxy for short-term interest rates, and you can see it started to break down well ahead of the Fed, and the Fed didn't want to raise rates. They really didn't want to, but the market itself forced its hand, and that's usually what happens. I mean, this is actually pretty normal. Notice Fed didn't really want to do anything. Market actually started to lower interest rates, and the Fed begrudgingly said, all right, fine, we'll lower rates, blah, blah, blah. So if you're going to take anything away from this broadcast tonight, just simply understand that the Fed does not control the interest rate market. People think that it does, and the Rothschilds, but they don't. The interest rate market is dictated by market forces. And we went through a hugely significant, you've heard fourth turning and all that crap, hugely significant event here, where interest rates were at historically low levels. They weren't going to go down forever. If you can see, this cycle actually works in a very sine wave fashion. And it was just really a question of time. We got to the point where this thing had to pivot. And it was just a question of time of when interest rates were going to go up. And the problem, of course, is that we live in this highly, highly socialist world where these governments, they seem to think that because we just went through a 40-year cycle of falling interest rates. So this is that image now over the last 40 years. The politicians think that they can just go spend money willy-nilly. And my silly leader in my country, what's his, what do we call him? The substitute drama teacher now turned economics professional. What? And of course, the girl who's in charge of the finance department has absolutely no experience in financial services. So this is like the perfect scenario for the banksters. They got a blank check. They can do any old damn thing they want. But the problem is that the socialists, they need to be reminded who's driving the bus. And how dramatic does this interest rate increase have to be to get the politicians to go, actually, I'm sorry, sir. Yes, you are driving the bus. Mr. Rothschild, I will do what you say. And, you saw what just happened in UK. That's par for the course in this kind of environment. And now all of a sudden it turns out the guy who's in charge of the UK now, the Prime Minister, it turns out that he is also right up the Rothschilds and Klaus's butt, as one of these, what's the name for them? These new age economist guys. Global reset and all that bullshit. So, like I said, if it's one thing that you ought to take away from all of this is that it's not really like these central banks have their own discretion. They can just set rates whatever they want. You can clearly see that the Fed is following the market. And really, interest rates are not going to bottom until we actually see this thing start to W out. And frankly speaking, according to my cycle analysis, that doesn't happen until next summer. So we got another, probably 6-8 months of this shit ahead of us. But the good part about it is, we are a good chunk of our way through this. This is the latter stages, and unfortunately, probably this is going to carry on into the new year. Everybody's worried about what Vladdy's going to do and what Europe's going to do through this winter, and that's probably the apex of whatever this crisis is. So there's your backdrop. So a little concerned that there's no justification for the central bankers to be backing off. And yet the central bankers are backing off. The market actually was expecting these clowns to raise to 4%. And what you have to understand, actually, if you like economics, I would suggest you Google a guy named Stanley Druckenmiller. He's one of my favorite traders. And he basically said, look, you're not going to have this cycle end until we actually see these kind of rates, these short rates, higher than what the inflation rates currently are right now. So just to give you an idea, right, if we just wanted to do I guess previous week, do we have an inflation number here? Somewhere. There's inflation. This is inflation. Actually, that's Japan. Ironic. The one place that there really is no inflation. Darn, anyway, I was kind of hoping to show you like a European inflation rate or something. But basically, it's running at about 7, 8, 9%. In fact, actually, we did a fun chart for the good people. There is the United Kingdom's inflation rate right now. 10%. F me. I mean, ironically enough, according to Feigenbaum's, inflation actually in the UK is probably going up to about 13, 14%. Oh, man. So don't kid yourself, folks. Yes, we have a little bit of a reprieve here. But I'm just worried that the reprieve is more political. As I said, we got a really big election event coming up down in the States on the 8th. And a lot of times these central bankers, they kind of go easy. They kind of go light around these elections. And sort of they don't want to be perceived by the public as influencing the democratic process, which of course is a load of horse hockey. But nonetheless, that's sort of the Fakese kind of talk, right? We got to make sure that Joe Sixpack sitting at his dinner table after he's had a hard day at work doesn't like clue in that basically he's a slave to the banksters. Now, it'll be interesting to see. We've had a number of different political events happen over the past few months that are all suggesting that the pendulum is swinging violently back the other direction. Italy, of course, we all know that their leader is now, I think, basically, I think she is right of Mussolini. So, oh boy. Should be interesting to see what the hell happens in Italy going forward. Did find it interesting. It's more municipal. It's not really federal. But a couple elections, one on the west coast of my country and then another one in the capital of my country. And the elections violently to the right wing. Like the public is literally like, get those goddamn socialists the fuck out of here. And I get my hunch is that I think the market actually itself is sniffing that out a little bit. And, that what usually happens with these sort of second-year new Democrat presidents, especially if it's like a reactionary election, like after George Bush Jr. was president, I mean, Dick Cheney, he was like, well, Mr. Cheney, are you going to run for president now that you've just been vice president for 8 years? And he's like, fuck no. So it was almost like a vacuum in Washington. All of the Republicans, they all raped the system. And they all like just hit the highway. They just hit the road and just got the hell out of Dodge. And of course, the socialists came piling in, and you got that big healthcare program that was jammed through by Obama through his presidency. But I get the impression that there was a bit of a, I'm going to just simply say how do you say it? Almost like a protest vote last election. Mr. Trump's policies a little bit polarizing. And of course, there's also talk there about whether that election was slightly finessed. So I get the feeling that the populace never really wanted to be as socialist as the sort of that just really screwy 2020 election went. And keep in mind that the market, it's not an accident that the market under second-year New Democrat president does very, very poorly, because the market doesn't like socialism. We're capitalists. The market wants capitalism. Bigger government is bad. I mean, for God's sakes, I hope you all understand. Why is this inflation rate the way that it is? It's because of big government. They got and the worst part about it, or maybe it's because of her. Sorry, we got it.
Oi. Oi,
Mama, what are you doing?
Oi, Gus.
Ay, pa, no.
Ma, ¿qué será lo que tanto está? Oi, ma.
I mean, maybe half of our problems is because people are doing this shit and they're not actually being activists in society. But in all honesty, in my opinion, the conversation it ends with Mr. Friedman, this gentleman right here.
Inflation is the most destructive disease known to modern.
If you want a very honest, candid opinion about how money printing destroys the purchasing power of your currency, please just listen to Mr. Friedman a bit. And the worst part about it is that, even now, all these comments, there's still even cocksuckers now who go, no, that's not right. The data has totally misproved that. And that is just the biggest load of fucking bullshit alive. It's just, and the worst part about it is people only listen to Milton after the government's gone and blown up the fucking books. And spent just way more money than they ever had. And then you get this big inflationary push, and then guys like Friedman come out and go, well, you print a whole shitload of money and you're going to create a whole bunch of inflation. It's just that simple. And this, of course, all started with quantitative easing, which was nothing more than the banking industry bailing themselves out at the cost and the expense of the working class. I mean, it's just that simple, folks. And it makes you a little bit sad about how corrupt our society really is. Anyway, the one good part about this is I think that the Republicans, who of course totally raped the system when they were in power under George Bush Jr., they knew this. Did anything come into existence right about exactly the same time that all those Republicans got the fuck out of Washington ASAP? Is there any correlation here? Does anybody get the connection here? I've made it the argument repeatedly over the years that I believe that our beloved Bitcoin is nothing more than a CIA, who was run by George Bush Sr., by the way, for many years, his pet project to be able to offset the absolute massive dilution of the currency that he knew and all of the Republicans knew was coming down the pike. So in a weird sort of way, I mean, of course, this is half of the reason why I'm involved in Bitcoin, because I knew that this was coming. And it's interesting to see how this plays out. Now, you guys, of course, all want Bitcoin to go to the moon. But the irony of that is if Bitcoin goes to the moon, then that means a loaf of bread goes to the moon. That means, a glass of milk to feed your baby goes to the moon. So, anyway. Chico Crypto thinks Elon is Satoshi, eh? Maybe. I don't know. Me personally, I like the CIA pet project angle. But that's just me. I'm a crazy nut job that way. All right. Anyway, blah blah blah. That's your rhetorical rant for the day. Not really crypto, but definitely I think it helps to sort of put a backdrop into what the hell's happening in the world and why we are the way we are right now. So, having said all that, believe it or not, actually, once we're coming out the other side of this political event, I actually think the market's going to do relatively well into the end of the year. I don't think it's going to be new bull market. Like you notice, blue dotted lines. There's the peak in the market rally for July, August, right up there. So, if that's the case, July, August, that's that rally there on the Dow. And of course, if we look at the S&P 500, that's that peak up there. But what we have to understand is that's not new highs. There's the old highs. And I suppose if we look at something like a stock market proxy, like the S&P depository receipts, this is what almost everybody in the public trades, and invest for their 401k and all that kind of fun stuff. I do like the idea into the end of the year in January, February, we come up and we test this high. I think that's very doable. The problem there, though, like 2023, like I showed you, I actually like the idea that maybe this is going to create some big honking head and shoulders pattern. So, and then down the road, probably not that violent, something like that. Down the road, coming out of 2023 and into 2024, probably next fall. Geez, where the hell's 2024? It's all the way over there, right? So maybe, something like that. I like that kind of thinking going forward. So I'm just a little bit concerned that people are going to get all rah-rah insane bullish. I think there are some half-decent trades to be had here. This is an interesting pivot off of the S&Ps. I don't know whether I actually have a trade set up there in particular. But I do have this trade set up here on the Dow working. And I have been tweeting this out extensively. It's a very interesting cup and handle pattern. There is just the reload zone off of this particular range. But believe it or not, into the end of the year, I actually like the idea of us rallying up top, filling in some of these gaps, and then creating that test of the summer peaks there based on what we saw on our little blog post, right? So that's there. And actually, really even an actual breakout of those highs is probably even asking a bit much. We're probably just going to come and kiss the underside of that topping pattern. So just quickly looking back at that, that's basically maybe coming up and filling in that gap at 88.6 there. I kind of like that thinking, somewhere up in there. So here's the problem, right, is we're already at Mountain Man. In fact, if Paul was a stock trader, I get the impression that Paul would probably want to be hitting this 61.8. TradingView got rid of the M icon, so I have to use this upside down W with these lines through it. I have no idea what that means. But we'll use that as our Mountain Man icon now. And maybe that'll become Paul's moniker. I don't know. But you can see how we hit that, and it was also an uptrend line. So I put out a tweet just even today going, careful people, you don't want to get caught chasing in a market like this. And what's interesting, and this is the cool part about the tools that we built, is you can see on the breadth indicator, this was the primary reason that got me all jazzed on the long side about the stock market. But you can see fast is at 96.7 and slow is at 93.55. Oh, no. So this market's gotten overbought very, very quickly. It's a little bit dangerous here, and a bit dangerous to come in on the long side here. And if anything, if you've kind of missed the boat, and I guess that's sort of like a little bit of what I'm doing with crypto, is had a whole bunch of W's all fire yesterday. I mean, W's everywhere, especially on a lot of the crypto stocks. And interestingly enough, the only W that I got filled on, and really I suppose you could argue that the trading W is probably that breakout there. But I did pick up a little bit of Novogratz here this morning. I've got bids working down below on HUT. on Marathon, on this Amplify, which is BLOK, and I think this is another version of the Grayscale ETF, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken about that. But anyway, you can see the double bottoms. I don't want to chase, so I got filled on this order. But all of these bids, they're just working down below. And if we do get a bit of a pullback here in the market, I wouldn't mind that. I'd also say, too, that we don't really want to see a super strong market into the Fed. Fed's now going to be next Tuesday, Wednesday, right? People will go into Fed watching mode on Tuesday. Wednesday will be the rate decision. It'll be interesting because this will be our next meetup with Paul and Ben. And this will be after the fact, after the rate increase. So it'll be really interesting to see that conversation and see the follow-up that we have here and what does crypto do in reaction to this. But we basically have 1, 2, then the weekend, then 3, 4, 5 days. And really I would even say 1, 2, 3 days of kind of vacuuming here. Now there is a bunch of tech earnings. For example, I think Apple is actually reporting tomorrow. As we had sort of started off with our beloved Granny, she's not actually in Metaverse buying anything. She is busy doing something. I'm not quite sure what she's doing, but I don't think that's actually spending any money. I don't know. I could be mistaken. Maybe it could be a gigolo that she's paying for in there. I don't know. But I don't think she's spending any money. And I don't know whether that's even... Does Facebook even have its Meta platform up and running? Does it have this virtual reality yet? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just sort of tongue-in-cheek about all that. But I heard that Meta is going to get beat up a little bit. Popsicle stand? Okay. Yeah, I guess. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I never thought of that. Didn't make the connection. So I'm a little bit worried. You don't really want this market going gangbusters up into that Fed meeting, because usually the rule is if the market rallies into the Fed, then it's going to crap out on the other side of it. So if anything, what you would prefer, and maybe this is a good sign what we're seeing, this breadth is just, it's too overbought. You can't buy that, right? I mean, hell, we wanted to, and this is the great part about this tool that we built. It makes it so easy. Look at the market breadth when the indicator was down here. Notice the country funds, minus 70, minus 80. Even there, even better. Look at that one. Yeah. Minus 100 on the country funds. Minus 90 on the country funds. And then you go and look at the S&P 500, minus 84, minus 88. That is a no-brainer buy signal. It is just so easy of a buy signal. Unfortunately, I can't scroll through here. I'd love to be able to go back and scroll through in time and show you when the market was egregiously overbought. You probably remember crypto back here was egregiously overbought. In fact, you can even kind of see it there in August 23rd. 80 on the short term, 80 on the medium term, 100 on the short term. August 23rd, I don't know, what the hell did Bitcoin do after August 23rd? August 23rd, that's right there. What do you think? Would it have been a good idea to maybe get a little cautious? So this tool that we've built is going to make trading and making money from trading so easy. So unfortunately, I can't show you the stock market. Last time it was egregiously overbought. That was back here in the spring. But, over time, I think Sjord is... he used to have a scroll function on this. I'm not quite sure what happened to that. Anyway, that's something I should talk to him about tomorrow. We'll have a meeting tomorrow. So, anyway, point of the matter here is what's the market state right now? You can see we've got... country funds are getting overbought. S&P is also getting overbought. So, on the short term, we're getting a little bit overdone here. Medium term, not so bad. Right? Nobody's actually officially overbought yet in the medium term. So that leads me to believe that maybe we have to have a little bit of a excuse me, a little bit of a short-term pullback. That cleans this up. And then if we pull back away from the overbought zone, we W out, we might take another run up top. But if we actually get a situation where, and I think it does happen over, say, the month of December and into early January, where we start getting overbought on both the short and medium term for the S&P 500 and the country funds, then we'll know another big wipeout is just around the corner. So, good part about this is you can get a nice simple message. I don't think a crash is anywhere near. In fact, I don't even think the market's going to turn down here. But I think we got maybe a little bit ahead of ourselves in the short term. So the messages I was putting out based on that kind of image, where, you know, there was a great buy signal that spat up about a week or so ago. But now you better just be careful. Right? In fact, actually, there was my note. Careful, everyone. Careful. Don't chase. Now, interestingly enough, if we hop on over to crypto, which of course is what you guys really want to talk about here tonight, interesting turn we've had here. I mean, nice double bottom. We didn't really get that ridiculous throw the baby out with the bathwater oversold condition. You know, I might argue that just over the past week or so, let's see, that's about the worst we got. So short term, yes, and that was October 18th, 18th, 19th, somewhere in there. Definitely short term, ridiculously oversold. Medium term, not so much. And ironically enough, actually, I thought I remember we actually had a half decent little oversold condition in crypto, but I can't remember where the hell it was. Anyway, not an oversold condition, but definitely a condition right in there that if we actually started seeing, and that was, like I said, 17th, 18th, 19th, we started to see the market turn up, you could be hunting buy signals. So if we go down to 17th, 18th, 19th, that's all in this area right here. I wasn't overly excited about this. I didn't really like the fact that teal was pointing down. And we did have to come down. In fact, I even put tweets out to that effect, kind of going, ugh. And I was sort of like, hey, you know, by nature, I'm a bull, right? I even said, for a guy who generally likes to be bullish and has come to respect this tool, that does not make me feel very good. So that was, doesn't have the date here, that was October 20th, seeing that that meltdown had come. But then, what was really cool was, oh, hello. In the face of awfulness, all of a sudden, October 22nd, you can start to see the market turn back up. And what's interesting about that is if we head on over to Bitcoin, look at what the 22nd gave us. That was this event right in here. So it was interesting. I think last meeting, we had kind of said that it looked like Bitcoin was range bound, top of the range, bottom end of the range. You could be hunting setups, but I really like the idea that if you wanted to hunt a short, that probably up here was where you really wanted to be hunting. That was this dotted line reference, and then I guess this dotted line reference off of the lows. That's what I sort of thought was the trading range. But breadth indicator bottoms out. It starts Wing through here. And really, you know, you want to use a really cool trading tool just to keep you on side. You could say, I want to see a W crossover in the breadth indicator. We're coming out of oversold. And do I have any bullish setups on Bitcoin? And right down here, I mean, it might have been a bit aggressive for new people. But I think on balance, boom, boom, boom. That's a 3-bar fractal right there. Doink. If you're very aggressive, you could have been, and actually it'd be interesting to hear if Paul, in his report, was hunting longs. Notice that that was a reload zone. Hell, you could even make the argument that, again, we'll do we'll do our funny little upside down W here. Would Paul come in and buy that Mountain Man level there? I don't know whether we call it Mountain Man level or we'll call it Paul Man level. Paul Man? Maybe that's the name for it. Yeah. So, we'll let Paul answer, but that definitely looks like a level he'd probably be interested in. And of course, you've heard of the Beamish. He loves his reload zones. So somewhere down in this area, if you were hunting longs, and like I said, there was the 22nd, that pivot back up. It's kind of a shitty price to get in up top here, but that is a 3-bar fractal. If you're kind of like a momentum person, at that level right there, what does the lower time frames look like? Do you have any kind of sort of, bullish bot setups or something to get in? Oh, come on, you. So right in there, if we drill down to like, say, I don't know, like an hour, 2-hour chart, where is that? That's this. And interestingly enough, you see the spike off of the low, sideways, 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 bullish bots. Interesting. You could even wait for this. You got the breadth indicator turning back up. And then we'll go by setup. So did we do 33? Yes. So can I sneak my way in off of a 25 level to set up a 3-to-1 risk reward? I think so. Boom. Oh, what a surprise. Look how pretty that's set up too. 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows, 4 lows. A nice W. Hell, you could even have front run the trade. That would have had you taking profits up here in the 20,000. Big fat round number. That makes sense. Hell, you could even be hunting another bot to take you even higher. So something like that. And did we have 33? Yes, we did. So could I be hunting another bot setup? And the cool part about trading these like multiple bots is what ends up happening is you get long from here. You take profits at the bot objective, right? So this is going to be our big bot objective. Right? I think I put that there. Bot trade. Did I do that right? Let's see. Maybe I did that wrong. Boom, boom. Oh. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So, that's kind of remarkable. I can't believe that it hit that exactly. I think it's this one here. So, hold on a second. Just bear with me here a second. We'll put that back to setup. Boom. All right. So, this is the profit objective. And notice... you would have been basically AOC order, which stands for automatically order cancels order. It's sort of the format that a lot of floor traders like to use, where you're going to buy here and you're just going to ring the register here. And then notice you let the market consolidate, 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 and now you're just going to literally get right back into the market off of that level. So you're almost, in this case, you're coming back in a little bit higher. A lot of times, actually, you sneak back in at a lower price, but to all intents and purposes, this works. AOCO, ding, 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 you ring the register, you let things settle down for a bit, and then you're right back in, and you can see move stop to break even's been hit, move stop to trailing. I don't see any reason why that can't be hit up top there. It would make perfect sense. And the interesting thing with crypto here is that the breadth doesn't look nearly as bad as the broader market. Yes, we did perk up a little bit above 80, but we're not sitting like the Dow. Like, this is ridiculous up in the 90s, 96 like that. That's dangerous. But here, we could play around a little bit. If anything, if this goes and M's out and fails here, then the bot rules, theoretically, what you're supposed to do is move stop to scratch at 50%, then move stop to trailing at 66. So probably the prudent thing here is just to have your stop below that most recent low. So if this M's out, boom, you get out and you made money. You made a home run on this trade, and then you take this pocket right here on the second trade. So that's the way I would sort of, day traders kind of trading this market higher. That's probably the way that I would look at it. So in fact, we could probably even do a bot in here as well. So there is this one, but remember our signal came in right through here on the breadth indicator. So you could have gone boobity boo Did that do 33? Well, that's awfully close. Maybe a little too tight. So, we'll leave that one for the pikers. Okay, so that's sort of generally what I'm seeing. Interestingly enough, since this is a crypto show, I'll take another minute or two to talk about this. One thing that jumped out at me, and you can learn how to do this, because keep in mind that crypto now is... where do we show this to you? Crypto now is we've got both Bitcoin and Ethereum in the mainstream here. So there's Bitcoin futures, there's Ethereum futures. Ethereum had a hell of a big day today. But what I want to show you is that actually I think that this was telegraphed, and you can use this information. You might be like a crypto person, but this is where you can use the legacy markets to help you understand price action. So if we go look at the Ethereum futures contract, and then we go look at the options prices, these options, because it's a futures contract, they actually expire at the end of the month. So a little bit of a funny sort of piece of trivia, where third Friday of the month is stock options, the big monthly stock options expiry. But futures contracts, they have their own sort of special expiration. And the powers that be have decided that, especially since these are cash settled, then they really want these Ethereum and Bitcoin options to expire on the last calendar day of the month. I don't know why. So notice expiry is 31st. And what's really interesting about this is if we sort of ask, what's the heaviest open interest? Keep in mind that, no retail writes put options. They just don't. And you probably are listening to this going, what the hell is he even saying? What's a put option? Why retail? What are institutions? Understand that these are all insurance products. So technically, just like you buy your car insurance or your house insurance, well, it's the same thing. But does the public go and write house policies or car insurance policies? No, they're all done by institutions. So when we look at something like the put options, where the institutions have written the heaviest open interest, that's actually where they are most willing to buy the asset. And what's really interesting about this is the heaviest open interest on these Ethereum options is way up here at $1,800. 2,000 contracts up there. And then on the call side, 1,500 contracts on the calls. And they dwarf all the other open interests. So to me, as a 30-year market veteran, old gnarly guy, this to me says that the institutions, they don't want these puts to expire in the money, because the people who bought these puts, well, they're going to exercise the option. And then that means the institution guys are on the hook. So ideally, they don't really want to have to buy these Ethereums at $1,800. What's the one way that they can ensure that they don't have to? Just cause Ethereum to go out 4 days from now at $1,801, and then these puts basically expire worthless. I think what's happening here is somebody put on like a strangle, which would mean that this would make the most money for Wall Street if the market just simply went out at like 1795 or 1805 or something like that, because there's so much open interest here. But that's $1,800. We were looking at this thing just yesterday, the day before, and it was like $1,300. That's a pretty damn big move. And sure enough, you pull up, you see what Bitcoin's done here, but you pull up ETH and you go, holy frolies, where the hell did that rally come from? Right? If we look at it on a percentage basis, that's like a 20% rally here just basically over the past couple days. When was the last time you saw assets move like that in 2 or 3 days? So it just goes to show there's a lot of funny business going on in this market right now. And then also, too, if we put it back to the price, remember I told you that I do like the idea of the market. Like if you look at this chart, you should be able to tell me 3 letters exactly where this market is likely to top out. I mean, most of the people watching this video right now, you're all students of mine, so you know exactly what I'm thinking. Anyone? First letter starts with an R. Hopefully that makes it a little easier on you. So where is a reload zone? And lo and behold, look at that. It starts at 1700 and 78.6 goes all the way up to 1850. Do you think that's an accident? You know, ironically enough, all you guys just looking at the price charts and your forwards contracts and shit, you'd all say, well, this is a liquidity pool, and then we went after the stops. But I would also say there's an added element about that options information. So maybe that's something that you've never heard before that you can add to your quiver. I used to be an options broker, so I happen to sort of, know that kind of information. Whereas a lot of people in the public marketplace would never understand that. So hopefully that's an added piece for your tool belt. Somebody wants me to do a foggy boggy off of this bottom. I suppose we could probably go off of that high. And we'll go chaos and boom. Well, 4.669 is up at about 1650. I guess maybe that's a little bit higher. So, somewhere up there, 1670. Interesting how 877 is a wash of that liquidity pool as well. I don't think they can get it up there that quickly. But over the next weekend, interestingly enough, of course, that option expires Monday night. Could we have some fun and games in the crypto market over the weekend here? Keep an eye out that. If anything, somebody remind me. I'll put it in the lounge, but somebody remind me next Wednesday when we do this crypto show, just to go back and look at this, and we'll even write on here. In fact, actually, let's get rid of that one. But we'll write on here. Let's go. And this is stamped, so it's not exactly the same, right? We'd go ETH1 exclamation mark. There's the chart. So as we said, if we do, and actually look at that fog and bomb looks even bigger over there on the futures markets. But if we go there, well, almost. There we go. Reload zones. Boosh. Then we will put that up into there. And then we will do 1800, which is right there. And we will write text. What did we say? 2100 open interest on the puts, and what was it? I think it was 1500 open interest on the calls. So let's keep this in mind, and maybe Ben and Paul. In fact, you know what I'll do is I'll throw it in the lounge. Sharky, if you want to grab it. You'd probably be a good idea to help remind me, but I'll put it in the room as well, and let's come back and review that next Wednesday if you guys are so interested. Suppose we could also do this fog and bomb off of there, up to there, and then there. Interesting. 4669 only takes us up into that level there. Because there is such a massive open interest up there, I would be very, very surprised if this market is not up in this area by the time that expiry rolls around. But let's see what happens. Only time will tell. Okay, so as you can see, thinking uppy. I did go and buy a couple cryptos recently. They seem to be treating me pretty well. I love the look of this chart. Now we can actually look at this chart and say, oh, gee whiz, that, my friends, is a weekly W. In actual fact, it's a weekly W within a weekly W. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful looking chart. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know what kind of legs. My hunch is we're going to probably rally up and kiss the underside of this. Does this have to play out through the election and then into the end of the year? Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. But what a beautiful base. And really, what you're here to do, what you're here to learn is just try and learn this, right? If you looked at this kind of market, like right here, I'm going to buy here, and you don't even know what the fuck's going to happen next, right? Boom. If I buy here, what we have to really try and do is let the market itself defend the trade. So that means, like, the visual representation of the market defending a level is this candle right here, where somebody was selling. Somebody else came along and said, no, I'll buy that. I'll buy it. And they bid it up and they leave this tail. So I don't have a problem coming in and buying that level right there and risking against that low. I mean, ideally, I'd like to risk against the first low, but just for the purposes of this conversation, we actually at TRI, part of our education program, we like to call this an institutional fingerprint, or basically where some institutional player said, you stop going down, you go up. And keep in mind, none of us in the public could have this kind of power. So it's usually some large institutional player, CZ. I suppose with these DeFi, I think I like this story because I think they're tied up with Cosmos. I think that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I know Nick, he really liked that Cosmo chain. I think it was Cosmo. I'm not sure if I have that right or not, though. Anyway, so if I come and buy here, where do I have to risk to? I got to risk all the way down to there. That's the last sort of visual reference where somebody said, no more down, you go up, so I will use that low and the guy who did buy in here to defend my trade. So just to justify this trade, I got to shoot for like a 2-to-1 risk reward. And actually, Paul and I were talking about this earlier. This is all about learning the process. So that's that. You really should be shooting for at least a 2-to-1 risk reward. Now, I don't know if that's even realistic. That might be like, Brian, you're crazy. If the price goes to here, it means that the market cap of this sushi is $100 gazillion bazillion dollars, and that's just not realistic. So is that a good trade? Probably not, right? And of course, if we look at what happened, you can see, yeah, we did move higher, but then, oh boy, and oh crap, look at that. I just lost money and I got stopped out and I'm a loser. Look at me. Woohoo! So this is why it's so important for you to identify the levels that you're going to take your shot at. So I don't know whether this thing is going to work here or not. But if I just use some really basic concepts, and I mean, really, the most basic of all of this would just be to simply shoot for a 50% retracement of this entire range. And that spits out something like, where are we here? Boom. Way up there. So if I use the same principle, that I'm going to buy a level, and I'm going to let the institutional guys, the guys that said no more down, you go up, I'm going to let them defend the trade. So that means that, based on this W, and you can clearly see it, I've got this guy defending my trade, this guy defending my trade, this guy defending my trade, a whole bunch of people defending my trade. Gonna risk to there. And I don't think, I mean, this is a bit aggressive, but what the hell, it's kind of fun. That is not an unrealistic price objective. It's probably just going to take a couple of years to get there. But look at that risk reward now. 10.6 to 1. Holy Shiite Muslim. Now, I'm the type of guy where I want to try and identify situations like this where I can realistically sell half on a double and then get that risk-free trade. And after that, I don't care what the hell. The damn thing could go off the board. It doesn't make a difference to me. So interestingly enough, we're not going to use this all-time high 50% rule. Let's just use this recent range 50% rule. And lo and behold, that is right there. And more importantly for me, what I like is I'm going to buy, and actually I went long off of this double bottom. I kind of went like sort of fudged. I kind of went long right there, a little bit higher than that level, but that's the level I wanted to be long from. And that is, in essence, our cost is about $1.44, and notice that's $2.94. So on this 50% tag, it's not, I mean, it's pretty close to a 2-to-1. And I think the trade is that double bottom breakout right there. And risking the new lows. Spits out 2.85 risk reward. That's pretty good. But more importantly, I've identified a situation where I've got a whole bunch of institutional guys that are going to defend my trade here. That's the whole point of the W's. And if I get the 50% retracement rally, I can get my double off. I can sell half on the double, get myself that risk-free trade, and then after that, I'm laughing. And, you know, just FYI, if you're watching this for the first time, if you're not a follower of mine, and you look at this Twitter feed and you go, this makes no sense. He took like 1.25 and turned it into 35 Bitcoins. How the fuck did he do that? Well, it was just literally just doing this, taking 5% of this 1.25, which you can do the math. That's 0.065. I mean, 0.0625 BTC. Not a hell of a lot. And just buying names like this down here, selling half on a double, so throwing that Bitcoin right back onto the pile. And every time the darn asset doubles from here, I just keep throwing another 0.0625 Bitcoin onto the pile. So I'd throw some on there. Then next stop would be up in sort of that area. I'll throw another whack of 0.0625 on the pile. And then another 6.25 up here. So by the time we get to the 50% level, I've already sold one half on a double, second half on a double, a third half on a double. So I have now my original investment capital still in here, and I've got what? About 0.2 BTC farmed out of this trade. And that's basically how I like to trade the market. And that's, ironically enough, this is how I quote unquote farm Bitcoin. It's just kind of it's an odd way of looking at the world, but it works pretty nicely. Now, having said that, you could sell half on a double here and say, you know, Brian, screw it. I will sell. In fact, hell, you could even say, well, Brian, I'm a big fan of the reload zones and that Paul guy, and he loves his 61.8s. So I'm not going to sell any more until we get up into that 14 area. That's fine. All I care is just make damn sure to get this sell half on a double order off. As soon as you get that, risk goes right down to zero, and what you do with the rest of it is entirely up to you. And, you know, I mean, look at it. It's a pretty looking little chart, I'll tell you that much, bike crackers. So I went and bought. So I'm in that one. I'm also in a bot setup off of this Matic. And I absolutely love this Matic chart. And it was so funny. Like, I mean, just look at it. It just looks so pretty. It's just so perfect. Interesting. Great Del Moody's 4669s lining up with bot objectives right into this wick up here. We're probably going to go rally up and tag that 50% rule. Anywhere up top here, I'll be more than happy to take some profits. You can see the A, B, C, D. So I'm also in this. So, you know, I think it's important that you guys understand that, yes, I run the education program. Yes, I do day trading. Yes, I buy stock, registered accounts, stuff. But I also do like trading Bitcoin and trading cryptocurrencies. And so here's a couple trades that I'm actually in that I've done here recently. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And then also, too, like I said, a couple really interesting anecdotes coming out of the bigger markets. A way for you to use Ethereum options data to try and help you understand market context. And then, you know, ironically enough, like we had sort of said there earlier, pretty good looking little bullish bot setups that fired that I think you could have made some good money on. And our sort of thought last week, although you don't even see that low here, which is interesting. Yeah, isn't that interesting how the futures didn't have that? But like if we go over and look at something like the kids would be trading your USDT over on Binance. Are you going to load? Did I do that right? There it is. Interesting range, right? If anything, Paul hopefully is going to tell you about the virtues of buying against the bottom end of ranges. I didn't really like the idea of calling a top in this. I actually like, believe it or not, now, and I'm going to stick with it. I like that as a profit objective. And I suppose we could probably do foggy boggies off of here. I don't know whether I'd go back up there, but I think you could make an argument. Yeah, probably a nice stab up into this area would be perfectly realistic. What I'm worried about, though, and I'll just leave off on this, is once this rally's done, be careful, folks. And the reason why I mention that is I actually like the anecdote that this market is a lot like the 2015 market. 2014, 2015 market. So if we actually look at how that market ultimately bottomed, this was the most recent one, and I don't think this is the correct anecdote to use. I think this is the correct anecdote. And notice, as we were sort of playing in the latter part of the year, right? Here's November, right? Oh, what a surprise. Notice there was a pretty nice little rally into sort of, in this particular case, the middle of November. But the actual bottom in the market didn't come until January. And I have a feeling this is the scenario that we're working through right now. So I would ideally like to try and get off those halves on doubles on things like the Matic. And this one I doubt we'll get a double, but we should get a nice bot objective trade. This sushi, if we get lucky, we can get a nice little pop-up here to give us that double. Because once we sort of get out into the latter part of December, what I did notice, and it kind of bothered me a little bit, is if we look actually out into like December options expiry, I don't know whether this is going to show us or not. If we go December, we go heaviest open interest. Wow, holy crap. 9,800 calls at 1,500. So are they going to really feel good about seeing, Ethereum up around $18, $19, $2,000 into that expiry with that size of open interest there? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to let the market close out that high. So I don't know whether we see it in November. Let's take a look. Heaviest open interest here, 13.50. So even, and that would be the end of November, November 30th, JoJo's birthday. Even into the end of November, I could see that this rally that we're enjoying right now actually kind of evaporates a bit. So just be careful, everybody, okay? Just understand that, yes, there's a lot of incentive for them to take this Ethereum up into, say, 1,800 here into the end of this month. But once we get beyond that window into sort of mid-November, I'm a little bit leery about a heck of a lot more upside following that. Okay, so that's my report today. That was about an hour and 15 minutes. My apologies I took so long. Paul has probably smoked a half a pack of cigarettes by now. Are you still with us, sir?
Yeah, just one.
All right. Oh, that's good. All right. So, what do you think, sir? Do you feel like giving these people a few minutes of your time here tonight?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So, let's. I'll stop screen sharing. Boosh. And actually, I could probably put my picture away now. Paul's a bit camera shy, so we won't demand that he be on camera. That's perfectly fine. Here comes Paul's report. The only thing I would ask, Paul, I don't know whether I asked you this. If you hit, I think it's F. Yeah, I'll do it on my screen. Maximizes yours. If you feel like doing it on yours, it is F. What the hell number is that?
F11, but doesn't work on my Mac.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, all
But
right. Why don't we leave with that? I'll put myself on mute. You've got the floor. Tell these people what you're thinking about here today.
this week, the weekly report is not actually exact now because we had this move yesterday. But let's see. The last week we changed the approach on our group, and we tried to do only day trading because we last week we didn't have any swing trading to do. The market, the volatility was out, so we tried to put only day trading, only day trades. So we had 14 trades, 4 wins, 7 losses, but we had a really nice risk to reward, and we managed to get a 9% profit. But in the rest, on the weekly chart, at least in Sunday, I didn't have too much to talk about. I said in Sunday we still had low volatility, so I said focus on day trading and scalping because we don't have a setup on a larger time frame yet. On weekly chart, at that point, we s- we had 19k, something like that, at that level. The other side of this trend line, I like that, but you know me, I want a W the other side of the trend line. LJ is a favorite setup I use. On daily chart, mm, at that point, we didn't have any movement. All-time highs from 2017 was the level. I was expecting a W. Now we have a W the other side of the this trend line at this point in time. But Sunday I was looking at the indicators and I saw bullish divergence in MACD, bullish divergence in RSI. So the market was a bit stronger than the we saw on the chart. On the 4-hour time frame, at that point we had the middle of the range, low volatility. I was expecting a move up or down to the top or to the bottom of the range, and eventually this range is was 1 month old. So at some point this range has to broke to the upside or to the downside. Dominance even now is at the same level, 41 and close to 42, something like that. Still in this range, and I don't think we'll get out from this range pretty soon. We'll see. Ethereum versus Bitcoin on 4-day time frame. We had at that point Sunday we had the middle of the range, and I was expecting a retest of this W or the bottom of the range, or just a retest of the top of the range. In meantime, we had a nice bounce, just retesting this M from the top. And we'll see what will happen until next week. I'll do another report. Total two, we had the reload zone and reload zone and 2017 all-time highs like support. Now we have a nice bounce in total two, so a nice move up, but we still don't have a weekly W on that one. The calendar, as usual, I like to point out this calendar because I don't like to frame any day trade close to the big reports. I want to be on the sidelines and just wait for the news and then frame a setup. I said, given the state of the market, I think Alcoa is in the. At that point, I wanted the W, and after the W is formed, to wait for a retest. Now, on most of the altcoins, we have the W, so we just need to wait for a retest. Investors, they could continue their DCA or little old lady or any investment plan they have. I point out some charts and this newsletter. I wanted the level on RSR. This one, I didn't get my level. Now it's pumping, so I missed this opportunity. Link was in a reload zone, so this one is moving up. I don't, maybe an LJ, but at that point seemed likely to get a nice retracement in deeper in the reload zone and then a W. Sol, as I said, wait for a W on a 1 day chart, and I posted a setup with an entry, a stop loss, and a take profit in Solana on 4 hour chart. If we take a look now at that chart, already hit the take profit area. 1 second. As you can see, we already have the 2.5. I closed 50% personally. I closed 50% of the trade at this level. I'm just I move my stop to scratch and I'm just trailing the rest. Let's see how high this Solana could go. I don't have any risk. I closed 50% of the trade, made some money. I cannot lose money anymore on this one, so it's okay on my part. Let's see even lower. I said about alpha. I saw a nice W in below reload zone on this one on 4 hour chart. If we take a look now at this moment on alpha, we are still in the trade. We didn't. I was hunting for the short reload zone as a target. We are in profit, but nothing yet. I don't. I guess we have 1 to 1 to move my stop to scratch, but keep in mind the volatility. I don't want to do that. I just have the entry, I have the stop loss at the original place, and I'm just waiting to see what happens. At least with this trade. Still in hard mode, at least the last week. Now, I don't think it's easier to trade. Uh, who managed to get that bounce in Bitcoin? Yeah, really nice. But at this point, it's a bit harder to buy at this level. If we take a look at Bitcoin on 4 hour chart, let's put it on this one. We had this range, low volatility. I said even on Twitter, I said it's profitable to trade in a range, but this range is a bit old and the volatility is out. Usually after the volatility is gone from Bitcoin, a violent move is next. So I don't think I had 24 hours after I post this, and we had a really nice move to the upside, broke the range, tried to retest a little bit, and now we are close to the short reload zone, at least from this high, where we touched 61.8. Nice move, but to buy at this level on 4 hour chart or even on 1 hour chart, no, not a chance. At least not for me. I'm expecting a retest of this top of the range at least. You can see the market was fighting at this level. If I want to buy, but at this point, I'm mostly on the sidelines, and I'm back to the scalping and day trading. Nothing else to do on Bitcoin chart, at least for me. I like the fact that we finally broke the range, but on 4 hour chart we don't have any bearish divergence. But if we go a bit on a lower time frame, you can see ugly bearish divergence already confirmed on MACD. An EM and a bearish divergence on RSI. Really was overbought. So for me, I don't know. I don't even think about buying at this level. I'm waiting at least for at least the first level of interest is the top of the range, top of this range at 20k, 100, something like that. But I need at this level, if you manage to get a retracement, I need a clear setup. I need many confluence to try to put a long setup at this level. Some altcoins, Ethereum looks a bit stronger, but is already in the short reload zone. Same bearish divergence on smaller time frame, but on bigger time frame we don't have any bearish divergence. Actually, on one day you are still in. We have that double bullish divergence on daily, so that look nice. Altcoins, all of them, almost all of them, they have a nice bounce. Some of them they have a really nice W, but at this point it's a bit late to buy it. You have to wait for a retracement, a retest of that W. Could be a nice buy in next couple of days. Maybe next week at the interest rate report. Before the interest rate report, maybe we can get a retracement and a nice swing trade. Until then, I'll stick to my day trading and like I said, I changed the format on the group and we'll try to do more live streams and try to. I want people to see how we frame the trades in the market and how we manage risk, and they could ask us questions if they have some. In this, I had something to show you on this one. 1 second. I guess this one. Who follow us knows I said a couple of hours before the report, before this move up, I said expect a explosive move is imminent. We managed to get a really nice trade, a really nice scalp. We had personally I had a scalp. A scalp, I said I'll close 50% at 5 to 1, and I managed to get a really nice risk to reward, big one. But that give me God mode or a lot of adrenaline. And yesterday I was sitting on the sidelines. I'm just waiting. I don't like after I get a big win. I don't like to how to say it. I don't like to trade anymore because I'm I know from my experience I'll do a lot of mistakes. So yeah, was a nice profitable last week, profitable partially this week. The week is not over yet, but at this point I don't see a nice and clean setup on swing trading. For day traders, definitely yeah. Day traders they could buy and sell every time, every moment of the day. Keep in mind, Bitcoin on this move up is just touching the 61.8 from this high. So I don't think it's okay to FOMO and buy. You don't have a small window of risk. You don't have a way to frame a nice trade. I will expect maybe a nice another push up and then hunt for a short. I don't know if it's a good idea to hunt for a short, but my plan says in short three low zone I have to hunt for a short. I will not touch this 61.8. Is my setup, but I don't like the market on 4-hour chart. I don't see any reason to frame a short at this point. If I'll miss this trade, so be it. Next bus. But I'm waiting for another move up and then an ICM, a nice bearish divergence, and then I could hunt a short. Last week I was bullish. This week, I don't know. Seems a bit too high, too fast. Maybe you need some cooling off, uh, a rangy market again, and then another move up or down. We don't know yet. I'm a day trader, so I have to play level by level and see the market on 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, and see exactly if find a setup, I'll play it. If not, the best position I could be, it's 100% in cash. Yeah, I'm have a different account where I'm playing swing trades. I'm playing on the spot market, but like a day trader, my favorite position is 100% in cash. And only when I have a clear setup, I go and snipe a entry. Leave with the results. If it's a stop loss, so be it next bus. If it's a win, same idea next bus. Nice move up. I like that on Bitcoin, but I just want people to understand it's a bit late. I saw a lot of people, yeah, Bitcoin will go up. I don't know. We are still in a bear market, so yeah, maybe we have a small window of some nice bounce, but it's still a bear market for, in my view. I don't know if people need some. They want me to look at some altcoins, send a message on YouTube. If not, that's it from my part, Brian.
All right. At the very least, though, you've got to read your closing statement, right? You have to remind everybody what your moniker is.
Yeah, treat market like a business. Market will treat you like a king.
Remember that, people. That's the
Yeah,
gospel. I thought it was
and
just
remember,
interesting as sort of an aside. I pulled up the Bitcoin futures expiry, and for October, which of course is expiring in a couple days, the heaviest open interest in the Bitcoin options are the 21,000 calls and the 22,000 calls. And very little open interest in the puts, which is interesting. So I don't think they're going to take the market up too much above 22,000. I would be really surprised if we went a hell of a lot higher than that. And then, interestingly enough, in the November contract, the heaviest open interest there is in the 19,500 puts. So through that November period, believe it or not, actually I don't really expect Bitcoin to go a hell of a lot lower than about 19,500. So if anything, what that tells me, and it kind of makes sense what Paul's saying, I don't know whether we look for shorts like today, or whether maybe we let this market breathe a little bit, and if we are going to hunt the next trade, just maybe let the trade set itself up a bit more. You know, like if you put that on a 4-hour chart, are there any signs of divergence yet? That looks too early. I don't think there's nothing yet.
no, it don't have. Only on 1 hour chart we see a bearish
Yeah,
divergence on MACD and RSI. So
yeah.
day traders they could hunt a short, but
So like I
nothing more.
said, 20,000, 21,000 in that area, that's where all the heavy calls are. So I doubt we go up through the top of that reload zone. But at the same time, too, it's probably a little too early to aggressively short. You know, it
Yeah, I'm
might be
waiting for short
interesting.
reload.
Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said I'm waiting for price to go in short reload zone and then hunt for a short.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, you could probably put a vertical line over October. What did I say? I think it was October 31st. Yeah. You know, just so people see. And I guess what I'll do is I'll hijack the presentation now. Well, no, just you keep screen sharing. I'll just show this on the screen on the YouTube page. There is that 21,000 call and the 22,000 call. Interesting how there's not a lot of interest in the puts on here. But the 21 and 22,000s, I doubt we go up through the top there. That's probably too much resistance. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Okay. With all that said, what do you think, Ben? You got anything to add to the equation here tonight?
No, nothing. Nothing in particular. I mean, it's,
Okay.
that was awesome, Paul.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
And I do like sort of the big picture, small picture combination. I think it works pretty well to help these people get a pretty good idea what's going on. Let's see. So questions over on YouTube. Somebody's asked. This might put you a little bit in an uncomfortable spot, Paul. But hey, what the hell? That's what we're here
Yeah.
for. Give us your thoughts on what you think the euro's doing right now. Would you take a trade on the euro?
I guess this is Abdullah who's asking. Uh,
I don't know who it is. It is Mahid1987. So I'm not quite sure who that is.
seems like him.
Okay.
Let
I mean, it's interesting that we can even look at these currencies over on things like on crypto exchanges.
Yeah, but I'll go. I prefer something. I prefer Wanda or something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell us a story. What do you see happening here in
Let's just
Euroland?
clean the chart.
Yeah, start from scratch. Just once upon a
Yeah,
time in a land far, far away. What do you see?
exactly. Just a dead cat bounce in a nice location, but as you can see, we broke the lows from the recent time, but we have a nice W. I see that a W in a W. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bullish divergence. This is another bullish divergence. Let's just put some ink on this one. So we have one. Let's just put these bigger ones, and we have two bullish divergence on MACD. We don't have an RSI. We have one in here, but it's a bit older one. RSI above 50, nice double in RSI, another one. I like for a dead cat bounce, for a move up, for a bounce. Yeah, I like the chart, but now to buy it on daily chart, no, it's too late. This was the level you wanted to hunt, at least in my view.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see 4 hour chart. We probably have bearish divergence. Not yet on 4 hour chart, but Willie is overbought. No, it's a bit late. What I'll prefer to do on this one, as you can see, AB equals CD is already completed. So at least let me switch this one and put a reload zone and just do something like this. If you want, yeah, you can use this low. You can use the all-time low, this one, and wait for a 61.8. But for a lower time frame, I guess this low it's okay. If you go on even lower time frames, so wait for you see where this small W on higher time frames is formed at this level. Wait to see a nice W in reload zone or at least at 61.8, and yeah, you can hunt along. At this point in time, if I go on lower time frame, yeah, we probably have some bearish. Yeah, we have already bearish divergence already confirmed. One, second one, yams in RSI, OBV. I don't see
Can I
anything,
ask
but
you a
take a look.
question?
Yeah,
Do you like double D's?
yeah, I like, but I tried. I am a day trader, so I'll tend to go on lower time frames. Double D's are from double divergence,
Yeah,
not
double
something else.
D's.
Yeah, yeah.
I love double D's.
But you have double D's on the bearish side now. So at this for a day trader on 1 hour time frame, I'll hunt for a short. I don't have an EM yet. I don't have something to work on
Yeah.
the price, but I don't like this behavior on 1 hour chart. And look at the yams on RSI. No,
Yeah, if anything, the US dollar index has come down a huge chunk. So probably a dead cat bounce here. And really, the question we have to ask ourselves is what's the play here into the Fed?
we have some support at this level. If we'll lose this level, we'll go to next one.
Yeah,
108, something like that.
right. If you do a kind of like what you said, there's a bull ABCD that completed itself on the euro. I think the bear ABCD here is almost
Oh,
complete.
yeah. It's complete. It's a complete one on this one DXY. If we put the high,
To that particular one, yeah.
yeah, did that one, and I'll just clone this one and put to the downside. I guess if I put here, it's already completed in the blue area.
Yeah, and you
That's why
probably
I
see
have.
some bull divs down in there.
Yeah, we have some.
Yeah.
We have some bullish divergence. Double
Yep.
Ds.
Yeah, I see triple D's. Ooh boy, wow,
Yeah.
she's a big girl. Anyway, what I was talking about, so I guess the point being that I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of backfilling here on this. And if that's the case, then kind of like our warning, whoever asked this question, what you'll find is that the stock market, like the Dow or the S&P or the NASDAQ, it will actually be very highly correlated with the euro. So if we're looking for a short-term top in the euro, then we're probably looking for a short-term top in the stock market. In fact, we could probably even look at the breadth indicator on this site, and it's probably flashing over bots in the currencies, and that I think would correlate nicely with stocks. Stocks and these currencies are actually highly correlated. Kind of a fun tool is you could take a trend line from that low at the beginning of September off of the high from the beginning of October, and that'll be your speed and resistance line. So the low from the beginning of September.
Low from the beginning of September, this one.
Yeah.
And a trend line to
The high of the beginning of October. Yeah. And hello. Oh, look at that.
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't think it's
High
an
to low.
accident that we stopped where we did here, and actually drawing that downtrend line. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually have to come back down and play with that downtrend line. And we talk about wicks and tails like to be eaten. I think actually the reload zone off of this recent range is a little bit aggressive.
Yeah. For a day trader, for a swing trader, you have to take the whole range.
Yeah, notice how that lines up nicely with that downtrend line.
Even this level, it's a good level to.
I like that.
Candle body
lows in there.
Yeah. At 70.2.
So take a screenshot of that, and whoever asked the question, if you're looking for a buy window, where that downtrend line and where that horizontal support and resistance line, where those two intersect, I think is a fantastic trade window. Now that's if the market gives it to us. We will see.
If it's the same man from my group, he's interested on day trading on 1 hour, 15-minute chart.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then probably you are going to be hunting in those in that big tail that was just painted there 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. I wouldn't even be surprised though. A wash of that candle's tail is a bit of a liquidity hunt event.
This could be a nice area for a short, and these weeks. Yeah. Wait for an EM for a clear set up to the short.
Did we just stall there at that candle body high level? It sure looks like it. It's pretty darn close.
Yeah, pretty close.
No. Well, we could go a little higher there.
Yeah, just to trap everyone bullish and.
Yeah, like you might get like a little bit of a top here. Stock market looks a little waffly. A little bit of a top, but then we pushed to new highs on a divergence up into Paul's level there, right? Probably even draw a blue horizontal line right off of that candle body level. And your guy who's asking for trade levels. Frankly speaking, if you print that chart off and you go hunt shorts on the top confluence area, hunt longs at the bottom confluence area, I don't think you're going to get a better analysis trade. I won't say recommendation. That's always a dangerous word to use in this business. But those two levels as potential trade levels, I think you could probably go to any Goldman, Merrill, Joey Diamond's house, and they wouldn't give you any better levels than that.
Take a look how well is the middle of this range is respected.
Yeah, that's quite a pivot, eh?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a valid one, at least in my opinion. It's a valid range. We can bounce and range in this area until the end of the year. Why not?
Sure. And really, this also makes sense too. What you're probably going to find is that this thing oscillates around the big fat round number. Markets psychologically like to do that. So if anything, we're probably a little overdone to the upside here, but I wouldn't be surprised if you actually see that we oscillate around that 100 level. That's usually what these things do.
Yeah, was the resistance level at some point? Exactly one.
Yeah, you could make an argument that if we do accept higher, then we're probably going to go the same distance above 100 that we went below 100. So, but let's get some sort of market structure up top here to justify thinking that first.
Yeah.
And also, too, that would probably be predicated. I think the Euro ECB is meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they're going to have their rate decision tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see whether they back off as aggressive like the Canadians backed off here a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see. Notice that the market is looking for 75 beeps out of these guys.
Yeah.
Now, if you get a 75-point move out of these guys, and considering the Canadians only won 50 points, you might get a sizable bounce out of the euro out of that. But I find that very hard to believe. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, but the problem is, before this report, the market is up. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is the market actually, and that's a good point, right? Is this a buy the rumor sort of scenario right now? They've bid things up looking for that 75 beeps, and they actually get disappointed. So that's a perfectly valid point, too. All right. So maybe you could grab a screenshot of that. And I don't know, do we feel, Ben, like throwing in a Euro chart into our spreadsheet, or is that sacrilegious?
I think if we made that a USDT.
There you go. That's yeah, I like your thinking. Well, fire that chart into our little showroom. And now we actually have a couple charts to take a look at next week and see how we did in the grand prediction game. Speaking of which, I don't think we checked in on our predictions, did we?
No, this time no.
Because, well, I guess we'll come to that in a bit. What time is it? Oh my goodness, look at that. We're almost 2 hours in. Gee,
this time I was right like a broken clock, something like that.
All right. Well, okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, we did that. Big government suck. Tell me about it. Chico Crypto thinks Elon is Satoshi. What do you guys think?
He thinks that from a long time, from 1 year or 2 years. Yeah, there have some clues. There is a possibility, but I don't see a higher probability to be. Definitely a possibility. A lot of things they are matching with his personality, his what was working in the past, what Elon did in the past. But it's a possibility. My personal opinion is not.
It is
not something I would count in.
It is interesting if you pull up Doge. We should probably look at Doge because I think Doge, believe it or not, is a buy here.
Doge on daily chart. Okay, why not?
I mean, I don't necessarily like to endorse him, especially with the way he's getting all rah-rah. Oh, shit, it's already gone. Too late. All right, well, it was a buy.
Was. At this level was a buy at 0.61.
6. So we're at 7.5. So if you don't have a problem
already
being late
2 to 1
by
or
a penny
3 to
and
1.
a half, yeah, maybe buy it. But maybe wait for some sort of pullback here. I don't know. You tell us your thoughts here, Paul. What would you do if you were a trader?
Just wait. For a short, if I want a short, I'll put a short reload zone from this high. I'll probably get for a long. For a long, I have to wait in a reload zone. Just a second to frame the short reload zone. 1 second. Yep. So you are close in a short reload zone. You can see. Wait for a clear EM if you want to short this one. For a long reload zone. So I don't see any reason to. Let's put a long reload zone. Just take this one. something like that.
Mm-hmm. Looks about right.
Yeah, you can see 78.6, nice level. Even in the reload zone, if you get a W, yeah. At this point, no way. Even
All
now
right.
it's pumping. No, 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 no. To
Yeah.
buy
Well.
something at the short reload zone at 61.8 short reload zone, for me, it's like a, I don't know. I don't have something like that in my plan.
Okay.
Short reload zone are for short, no. But yeah, a nice bounce. I guess nice volume. I don't see. Yeah, I see no BB is trying to put up something, but just work your orders. Nothing to do at this level. 70.2 seems like a good level for this one. If I zoom in, you can see this. Just a Wyckoff check of this level could be a
Mm-hmm.
nice. If you want to be cheap ass, hunt for a lower level. You see the tails in this area, but at this point, nothing to do. Too high, too fast.
Mm. Okay. Well, thought I'd just ask. Maybe you can grab that chart and throw it into our database on the daily for Ben, so we
Yeah,
have
why
it
not?
for the record.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep the things really simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things. If it's short reload zone, at least I don't buy.
Yep.
I stay out. I'm hunting in the reload zone. I'm trying to hunt on candle body lows where I see confluence. On the short side, on altcoins at least, I know usually they'll paint in short reload zone, they'll paint an EM. So everyone will go short. And after that, they'll just do a last FU to the upside to stop everyone, and then will go down. So
Mm.
I'm hunting for that. I'm hunting at the top of the EM.
Okay.
But at this point, nothing to do on Doge. Too late.
All right. Sounds good. Great Dalmoody's got a couple names. First
Mm.
off, he likes Atlas, ATLAS.
Yeah, 1 second to put the chart in.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Thanks. Thank
I'll
you.
forget after.
Does that work for you, Ben?
That's USDT.
Yep. Let me,
And so, for whatever it's worth, Ben, somebody was asking today what a Benkoff check was. Somebody heard Paul go, "Oh, that's a Benkoff check." They're like,
I guess.
"I googled that and nothing came up. What the hell is a Benkoff check?"
a
Which I thought was great.
super secret signal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Super double secret probation signal. All right, this thing's definitely on its knees, no doubt about it. So the
Yeah,
great
definitely
Del
close.
Moody's coming in. I don't know. I'm probably gonna test that blue line of yours.
Yeah, it was exactly the first part of the chart. But on daily chart, I don't see a W. I don't see. If I don't see a W, I cannot say anything. On 4 hour chart, let's take a look. You have some W's on 4 hour chart, but what I don't like is this tail,
Yeah.
ugly one. You have bullish divergence one, second one, third one. A lot of bullish divergence in MACD and RSI the same. Some W's in OBV, but honestly, I don't like this tail. You have to, if you want to frame along, you have to wait for this level, and you have to risk all the way down to this one, to this tail. So yeah, you can put a trade. You have all the reasons. You have location. Definitely, you have a good location for a long. You have bullish divergence, double D's or triple D's. RSI, it's above 50 line. I see a lot of W's. Willy is not. It's the middle of the range. Some W's in OBV, really nice. But the only thing I don't like about this one is this tail.
Yeah, wicks and tails like to be eaten, so
Yeah.
be careful there, folks.
maybe if you want, you can hunt an entry of the candle body lows and risk to the all the way down to the the down part of the tail at this level. Maybe.
All right. And let's see. Great Dalmuti's got another one first. Let's see if anybody else asked for anything else.
He said AMP. Let's take a look at AMP until he's somebody. One day first. So it's definitely cheap, but nothing to compare to. I don't have more than that, at least on Binance.
Yeah. Great Dalmuti likes to find these ones at the bottom end of the range, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably my 2 cents here, dude, would just be maybe let the W's come in. And then on things like Benkoff checks and reload zone tags.
Yeah,
at
it's
those
better.
ranges.
It's better to lay the W form and buy at the retest.
Yeah.
It's a better win rate, and in my experience, than to buy at the breakout. You'll get
I
a
know.
better win rate.
AMP made me a lot of money in the past. I remember that. But don't see any real signs of a bottom here yet. And what's your dominance telling you right now? I thought it was interesting. The dominance to me didn't really. Do you think this is breaking down yet?
No, I still expecting higher.
Yeah.
A, B equals CD to get me in this area. If I look left, I'm a Romanian. You said Romanian, they like to look left.
Do they? I didn't know that. What side of this road do you drive on?
Yeah, no, I'm on the right side.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not that. Do you shoot your gun with your left hand?
I'm a left-hand man.
Yeah, there you go. So look left. Watch out
So
for the machine gun.
I'm still hunting. I'm still waiting, expecting AB equals CD, and then we'll see. On daily chart, I don't see any. See some bearish divergence. Indeed, Willie was overbought. But looking at the OBV, I'm thinking if I look at this big range, I'm thinking two ranges, one and the second one.
Yeah.
So we are just in the middle of this range. You see the resistance level. I don't think we'll go down too much.
Right.
And lower time frames, yeah, I see something. You see the YAM, but this YAM is already played out.
Huh.
We had bearish divergence, we had the YAM. Now we're just retesting the YAM, but I'm thinking range. I'm not thinking breaking down, at least not at this point.
I suppose that's kind of the same message that our crypto universe is. It's kind of just sort of stuck in the middle. I don't think it's really a screaming buy or a screaming sell. Sort of stuck. So.
Nice move
Looks
up
like,
on
the
this
coin's
one.
coming off here a bit, eh?
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah.
A nice move up on this one, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Let me clean.
Well, that was that jump. Remember, we said there's quite a bit of open interest there in those Ethereum calls up top. So I could see that thing sort of work its way back up. Yeah, well, if you draw horizontal support and resistance off of those, not that high, the next one, yeah, that high there. Yeah, right there. Oh, yeah, right there. That high there. And then also notice that the previous high is also that same level. So go back, yeah, over there. So you kind of see how that's like a head and shoulders top up there. So that to me looks like a pretty significant resistance zone right up in that area. So
I was framing the inverse head and
sort
shoulders.
of works its way up into that options level. I could see that that moves its way up. So
we were framing the inverse head and shoulders on this one on lower time frame on 4-hour chart. You can see inverse head and shoulder.
and that's probably been hit now, eh?
Yeah, the target is already hit.
Yeah.
That was a nice one on 8 hours. If I remember.
Yeah, I could see it. fact,
Yeah.
you could probably do Fog and Bomb off of that. Probably give you a half decent level up top.
From this one or
Yeah, I
which
would do
level?
that left hand side. Yeah, that high back down to those lows. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Already hit some levels, I guess. I guess this is a lower level. Yeah. Let's put some foggy. Already hit 4669.
Where's 877?
Just a bit below that resistance level.
Yeah, I like a stab up into there. So it'd be interesting to see how we act. We might fail here at 4669.
Yeah, at least
But I
range a
wouldn't
little
be
bit,
surprised.
consolidate, and put another push up.
Yeah. All right, and he's got one more for you, but my hunch is it's probably going to look similar to what we've seen here, Mr.
Let's see.
Great. But he wants you to look at ARRRR. How many R's are there? One
Too many
R,
Rs.
2 R's, 3 R's. ARRR USDT. Pirate change. Oh yeah, R. Well,
Let's see.
it's like an interesting head and shoulders there.
Yeah, looks nice. Bottom, let's see.
That's better. I like how you're
Yeah.
thinking here. This is better.
Yeah, you have a low on this one.
Yeah.
This low hold.
That's
like
a
that.
better looking name there, Mr. Great.
Yeah. Looking a bit better.
So you have a pretty nice risk window there. Remember I was talking earlier about letting institutions defend your trade? So, I mean, you don't know who the hell institutions are on KuCoin. But, you know, the point here is you got a bunch of lows to frame your risk against. It's not terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a W.
Yeah.
I not consider this one. I'm a cheap ass, so I'll hunt for this level at least. I'll not buy at this level now. Let the market come to me. In my view, it's a W in a W, so I'll prefer to hunt of this breakout.
Yeah, so do a little foggy boggy off of that little tight little W that's happening there. Give you a half decent upside targets.
Yeah,
You could
but
probably
I guess
do
that'll.
like a fib off of that high from back in the summer, and probably reload short zone lines up at that 4669.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a short, but I could frame a. I'll do it immediately. Extend and reverse. Yeah,
There you go,
exactly.
look at
61.8.
When 4669 runs into 61.8, wow, that's a level.
Yeah, and if we hunt on this level, and let's say we are not greedy and we'll put this one, this low, and we'll hunt to 4669. We have 3.6. Oh, a nice risk to reward. Why not?
It's not bad.
Yeah. If you want to risk on the small W, it's a bit riskier, but you will get a 6.6 risk to reward. So up to you.
Double divs with a 69. Jesus. Sounds sexual here. All right, one more request. Actually, maybe why don't can you take a screenshot of that for the spreadsheet?
Yeah, I guess so. Why not?
Please.
Yeah. 1 second.
All right, awesome.
It's posted in this one. And after that, we'll go to our prediction.
Yeah, we're getting kind of late here. We've been going for a while. So AFA just joined us. So welcome. And they asked us to look at CFG. It's Charlie Frank George. I think I'm reading that right. Centrifuge. What are these KuCoin names?
Definitely have location on this one.
Yeah, you're coming in at the bottom.
Yeah, but I don't see any W on daily chart.
That would be a good request, AFA. I think we should probably ask Sjord that. I'll put that in the lounge. That's not a bad idea at all. You know, I'll even say that now. Mind you, he's just sleeping right now, so let's not. We won't wake him up with an at. But we'll say, Sjord, can we replace shitter X, cocksucker X? I think we should call the place. With KuCoin. That's not a bad idea, you know. So thank you for that suggestion, AFA. All right, what do you see here, Chief?
I don't see a W. I don't see a price structure, but we definitely have location.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and actually, you could probably flip those reload zones around, eh? Probably.
yeah, 1 second.
That'll show you that this is a half decent trade location.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Just a nice level to see a W. We
Any
don't have a
signs
W
of,
yet, but
any divs coming in here yet?
yeah, I guess so. A lot of them. So a bullish divergence is confirming now.
Oh, nice.
It's already confirmed on the last candle. So
Mhm.
I guess this one it's a bigger one. Let's see. No, it's not because this is a lower low. So we have a bullish divergence. We have some W's in RSI going out from oversold. Wheelies still oversold. I don't like the OBV though.
Something's wrong with the volume. Why are you guys over there on KuCoin dumping this thing?
Yeah, so
Stop
maybe
selling, AFA.
maybe wait for a clear W, wait for a breakout, and then buy at the retest.
Yeah,
Same
that
idea.
sounds good. I'd buy that subscription. All right. Okay, well, everybody, I think you got you got a full meal deal here tonight, everybody. If you could, hit that like button, subscribe, ring Paul's bell, and let's ramp up the viewership so everybody and their brother on YouTube can see this show. Because frankly speaking, I think this is a really good show we put together here. Okay, so Paul's heading on over to Twitter, so maybe we'll finish with screen sharing from you, Paul, if you want to stop presenting.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then,
1 second.
I'll load up the spreadsheet and we can finish off with our grand predictions here. All right, so Paul is done, and now we'll look at my screen. Let's see, where are we going to do this? I guess we'll go over here. I guess we can do it on this page. What the hell? Let's see what happens. Oh. Okay, this is going to get a little screwy. Sorry, everyone. But what the hell? Boom. Okay, and then it's going to go picture in picture in picture in picture. And OBS. What's OBS doing? There's OBS. All right. All right, I think we're back in business. With all that said, Ben, any thoughts? Anything you'd like to add to the conversation here? I always like to keep you involved.
No, nothing in particular.
All right.
Just ready to face the music with my terrible prediction.
Looks like actually the one time Paul should have stuck to his guns.
I know.
Exactly. I'm close enough though.
And actually interesting, I think you said that your trading this week was kind of meh, eh?
This week, no. This week was really nice.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, then screw this prediction stuff. It's kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, Ben. Oops. Good thing we didn't get a margin call there.
Yeah.
We'd hate to have the poor little kids sleeping out in the cold this Christmas.
Yeah, that's why they don't let you short in the US.
That's hey, we're just thinking of that. How does that Simpsons line go, Justin? Where are you? Justin's my Simpsons line guy. Somebody think of the children. All right, so Paul was clearly the most accurate here. Brian was looking for just a big hurry up and do nothing market. And Ben was looking for... You must have been watching those YouTube fucking social media influencer guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so for posterity, and you can clearly see we're not very good at predictions. The good thing is, however, we do actually make a half decent money trading. So just goes to show predictions and setups are apples and oranges. So since you were so right last week, it only makes sense, Paul, that you should tell us where we're going this week. Where do you think we're going? Are you going to give
I'm
a cluster?
oscillating between 1 and 0 this time. I don't know.
0.5? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, 0.5.
All right, so Paul's going to give a 0.5 reading. What do you think, Ben? Which direction do you want to go this week?
I was thinking maybe a 0.
A 0, okay. So a big hurry up and do nothing. Keep in mind that we do have Fed. And actually, this will be interesting. Because next meeting, I actually expect that they're going to take the market up into this, but we're going to have the Fed meeting day, and usually the fireworks fire like after the market closes that night. So it'll be interesting to see which way we go. As I was mentioning earlier, the Bitcoin options, if we look at the October expiring in 4 days, or basically on Monday. Heaviest open interest, 21, 22s. Interesting how there just aren't that many puts written. That does surprise me a bit. So I'm thinking we're at 2075 right now. I'm thinking that there's probably not a hell of a lot more to the upside to go here with regard to Bitcoin. So the question, I suppose, is what would be sort of downsides? I can't really get too much more options information. The Novembers, and I don't know whether I showed you this earlier. Thought that was interesting. 19,500. That's the heaviest open interest there on the puts. So I don't think we're going a hell of a lot lower. You know, where are we? We're at 20,000, and the 0 is plus or minus 5%, right? There's 4%.
Yep.
So no, maybe that's not right. What is the 0? Is that just like 1%? There's 3%, 2.5%. I'm not even quite sure how this works. We should probably make like a legend or something up here. What color is what? I kind of like that we're just going to be parked here. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're like, you know, maybe even like $1,000 lower. So I don't know what that gives us. I'm going to go with another 0, although I was completely off last week. So, but I'll go with a 0, which basically implies I had, you know, my analysis, we'd hit a 38.2. I actually like the idea of us pulling back down into sort of this 19,950 area. So, and then, you know, if I throw on a sine wave, let's see if that sort of lines up with things. So maybe we'll go top here, bottom. That's not really accurate. Let's go. Oops. Top. Bottom. Oh. Wow, what the heck's going on now? Okay. Let's try that again. That looks kind of good. All right. So next Wednesday is that the 2nd? So actually, we probably need to come down a chunk. But would probably be, so what is that? That's, I'm going to go with that. We'll say the better part of 20 G's. So that is $600-700 lower. I don't know what number does that mean. Does that mean a -1, or is that still a 0? I'll go with a minus.
Still a 0, I guess.
I'll go with a -1 then. Be a real party pooper. See what happens. All right. Okay, well, always excellent time with you two gentlemen. It's a lot of fun doing these shows with you, so thank you very much for your time and your participation. Looks like Ben has already updated a few of these charts on the app. Awesome app, Ben. Totally fucking cool. And of course, all of our higher time frame cycle analysis charts all in here. So feel free to pop onto the app. You can take a screenshot of it there and get it on your cell phone or I guess your tablet pretty easily. And as always, I mean, shameless shill, but as the description points out, the whole reason why I did this show to begin with, a year or two, right, 65 episodes, Ben, man. You have been a soldier. You have stuck around with me for a while. And how many shows are you into now, Paul? About 10, 15 or so? So if you do enjoy this, if you feel like you've gotten some value out of this, the whole purpose of why I wanted to do this was I think I had made reference to it before, but just in case you didn't see it before, I think it's really important for us to remember exactly what the metaverse is for. And I would really like to have a booth set up where really nice old ladies can sit
Ma
and
¿qué será
come
lo
and,
que tanto
play
está?
in the
Uy,
metaverse.
mano, uy, escucha. Oye, ma.
Don't put that image again.
Well, maybe we won't see that. But I wouldn't mind these shows running 24/7 on on something like and actually I don't know where the hell did I put that on something like the Metaverse Decentraland. And so if you feel like it and you feel like you got some value out of that, there's our ETH donation address. Feel free to throw us a couple shekels. And interesting enough, as the whole market's sort of coming down into next year, actually, I think that'll probably be our opportunity to go shopping because I think all the prices will be cheap by then. So, okay, so PMA for the win. Have yourselves a great afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. By all means, if you enjoyed the broadcast, we do this basically every day of the week. Julian, actually, one of the principals at TRI, has a fun show called the Baby Powder Report tomorrow morning. So maybe pop on by. You can have a 30-day trial, so you can come and kick the tires and see whether this TRI place is to your liking. Our education program, and I thought Paul made a really good comment earlier that there are lots of people online that are going to teach you their respective squiggly line approach, and that's fine. I mean, there's a million different ways to skin the cat when it comes to making money in the market. But I did find interesting, Paul said, maybe Paul, you can even speak to this a moment, that he's actually had people that come and have sort of listened to one person's squiggly line theory and it sounded good, but they weren't actually profitable traders. They came to Paul, and Paul, I guess through what he's learned with me and what you've seen him do tonight, and that is talk about the process. And once you learn the process and you learn how to frame trades and how to frame risk and really to understand what type of person you are, then actually becoming profitable at this game is a lot easier. So would you agree with that statement, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. After you learn the process, doesn't matter what tools you want to use. That's up to you. But any tool you want to use, if you don't have the process, is not of any use. You have to learn the process first and then start trading.
Right. So I think at TRI we do a pretty good job teaching you how to build your small business of trading. So,
Definitely, yeah.
Take that for whatever it's worth. I know it's kind of boring and it's kind of like, that's not very sexy. That's not social media. Ah! But I tell you, I've been in this business a very long time. And that's the way you make money at this game, is you got to approach this like a business. How does your line go again, Paul?
Treat market like a business, and market will treat you like a king.
All right. And on that note, Ben, if you could take us on out of here, I'd love it. Hugs and kisses. The only thing left for us to say to you good people here tonight is...
Bye for now.